Welcome back to another Cooking Around the World with Tumeric Community Centre, COVID variety, shot at home. Today we're going to do a recipe for people who like more of a vegetarian dish. This can be a dish on its own, or can be just a side for an Indian day, a bit of a curry dish. This is. It's a lovely dish just to have on its own though. It's roasted cauliflower with a turmeric coconut sauce. If you've never roasted cauliflower before, it brings a whole new dimension to make you enjoy cauliflower, which I do. I love cauliflower now, especially roasting it. And you can do it in a variety of ways with just simple seasonings, even just a sprinkle of salt and olive oil over the top, or some smoked paprika, or a little bit of cayenne pepper just for a little bit of a sting. Just changes cauliflower so much. Yes, it does, Jackie.
No comment.
Some of us do like cauliflower. This is actually an idea that came from a family member. Here's one for you, Lucy. Okay, I've already cut up some cauliflower just into florets. The recipe itself calls for roasting a whole cauliflower, which takes 50 minutes to an hour. That's the other half of the cauliflower, and you just coat this with oil and spices, chuck it into the oven for 50 minutes to an hour to get it cooked. I prefer not to spend that much time doing it. I cut it down before I start this and just cook it in florets. And what we do with that, we just put a little bit of olive oil. This is extra virgin olive oil because I love extra virgin olive oil. Just a little drizzle of olive oil on the top. And just some simple spices, a little bit of cumin. And that was about a third of a teaspoon. There's about a third of a teaspoon of coriander. The recipe calls for more if you're doing the whole cauliflower, but I'm only doing, this is about half the cauliflower, about 500 grams. And then we just mix this up. Gonna add a little bit more olive oil to that. We want olive oil to touch all of this. That'll help brown it up. Okay, now we just spread that out in the pan. Now it's not over spicing these, not over seasoning. Just want them relatively mildly flavored. That's all, just mildly flavored, because all our flavor comes with the next few steps. Okay, so wipe that. Going to add a little bit of salt to that, so just a little bit. Now, for the brave, and I count both of us in there, Jackie, we like a little bit of spice. This is just cayenne pepper, or you can use chilli powder. You don't need to do this. This is just a step that I like to do just to give you roasted cauliflower a little bit more of a kick. And just be very careful. Just a very, very light sprinkle. You don't need this to blow your face off. Just a little touch. That'll be enough to. It'll be just enough to feel it. That's all what I really want, just to get a little. That will be absolutely beautiful once it's roasted. With the whole cauliflower, 50 minutes to an hour, cut down to florets like this. I would recommend maybe about 20 minutes. Just keep your eye on it until it's all browning up nicely. 20 minutes should make the cauliflower soft. Just stab it with the end of your knife or a skewer or whatever, just to make sure the cauliflower is soft. And we'll pop that in the oven and come back shortly. Welcome back. While our cauliflower is just roasting off in about 200 to 220 degree oven, you want it nice and hot to brown and cook it up pretty quickly. I'm going to do another part of this recipe, which is just some fried lentils. This is a nice little crunchy addition to the side of the dish. I'm just bringing a fry pan up to heat. I'll add about a tablespoon of oil to that. That'll heat up pretty quickly. And I've got one large clove of garlic, very, very finely chopped. Close up. Okay. You could use bottled garlic if you wish. So that's sizzling away already. Don't want to overcook the garlic in this. If you brown it too much, it can go bitter. So once we get the other bits into this, it'll take the heat off the garlic. Now, this was just a tin of brown lentils. I've drained it off, and I'm just going to use 1 cup of lentils. Right. Jackie's doing a dance. Okay, there are lentils in there. Put a sprinkle of salt. Just get that moving in the pan. On a bit of a sizzle on this one, we have to dry these out and start to get them a little bit crispy. Spread them out on the pan. Also going to add a little bit of pepper to that. You can just add normal cracked pepper. This is a really interesting mix I found. I think it was actually an Aldi thing. It's black pepper, white pepper, and a few little, maybe some little red bits in there. A few little bits of dried chilli in there, so it just gives it a little bit more spice. That will need about 10 minutes or so just to get them fried up and crispy. So we'll just leave that cooking for a little while, and we'll get back to you again shortly. Right, we're ready for the next part of our recipe. Just warming the pan here. We're going to make the turmeric coconut sauce. Okay, that's hot enough. The recipe calls for extra virgin olive oil. You can use really whatever oil you like. I'm going to use a bit of coconut oil for this. It's a coconut dish, so I actually like using coconut oil. It's claimed it's almost healthy for you, so we'll roll with that. When I claimed at one stage it was the healthy oil and it did so much to help your system, then recently someone came out and debunked it, so whether that's true or not, who knows. Right, we've got get the oil up to temperature. We'll chuck our onion in. That's you can use a shallot as in the recipe, or I just used a half an onion, chopped relatively finely. If you want to chop your onion this fine, it's good to have the knife sharp. I just sharpened it before I did this, so I wasn't wrestling with the knife and the onion. It just went through very, very easily.
How did it go?
Okay, that's just starting to cook up now. Okay, that's just starting to get a bit of colour to it. Now, the recipe calls for a piece of ginger and a few cloves of garlic. I couldn't be bothered doing that at the moment. Sometimes I prefer using fresh ginger and garlic, but sometimes I just couldn't be bothered. So I will use a bottled ginger and bottled garlic. Just saves a bit of time. This will spit at me, that's the only thing. I've added two teaspoons. Just get all that cooked in, starting to spit now. while it's sitting on there. Because next thing I want to do, get some curry leaves in. When curry leaves hit the hot oil, they will spit because the water in the leaves exploding basically. Ow. As you can see, that's spitting quite a bit there, so just give that a few minutes to cook out. Right. Take it. 1 teaspoon of turmeric into this mix. And you see the colour that's adding to our pan there. I just cook the turmeric out for a moment. Try and get that rawness out of the flavour. Right. 1 can of coconut milk. Look at the colour of that. Yum. At the moment it's just got the garlic, ginger, turmeric and curry leaves with the onion. I'm going to add a big pinch of salt and some cracked black pepper. Good heap cracked black. And the last thing we're going to chuck in there is some dried chilli flake. You can add as much or as little as you wish, but that's where I want to get a little bit of sting in it, a little bit of chilli hit with that step. You can even take a little bit more than that, Jackie. Don't you reckon we can handle more than that?
Is this for me too?
Oh, yes, you have to eat some too, Jay. Okay, what I'm going to do is just let that reduce. We have to reduce that by about 1/3. Not to 1/3, but reduce it by 1/3. Just let it boil out for a few moments and let a bit of that evaporate off. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, here we are back again. Have a look, Jackie. That was 20 minutes exactly in the oven at about 200 degrees. You can see how they just got that little bit of brown, the brown edges on them. That gives it a fantastic flavour. So we just put some of them on our plate. And so this is a perfect side to any other. You can do a vegetarian, whole vegetarian curry dish, or to side to a normal meaty curry dish. That'll be enough for a side for 1 serve. We do. You see over here, you see how much this is thickened up? It's actually turned into more of a gravy sauce, which it's supposed to be. So put that over the top. Over here. Here's a little buddy, he's come for lunch. He won't like curry cauliflower. I don't know that he likes
cauliflower.
And these are, you can hear them, these are our fried lentils. Just add a little crunchy aspect to the side of the dish. And as this will just be a side for a main meal. That's our roasted cauliflower with turmeric coconut sauce and fried lentils on the side. I hope you enjoy that one. Give it a try, it's really nice.